versus Blacklist International. Eyes on the early rotations. Where are junglers starting?
Welcome to Mobile Legends.
Just seem like both teams are trying to make sure that their jungle is safe. Vin, of course, on that Hilda will be attempting to try and get a bit more value, abusing that passive coming in from the Hilda.
Yeah, so it feels like it is going to be a mirror matchup. Of course, the Fanny will prioritize the purple buff first, but instead of seeing Vin, hard invading on the enemy side, it is Vin on the protective side. It's something, as I mentioned as well, All My Venus will need to stay around the mid lane, need to make sure that HOSHI gets to level 4 as quickly as possible.
Yep, and for the first minute, 45 seconds, I'd say Vin could be a little more aggressive, and I guess that's why HOSHI and All My Venus are staying here. That's the reason why they're trying to protect Wise and get him his buffs before, again, the much faster Albert can come in and try to contest.
A situation right here, but Vin actually gets jumped on, he gets stunned, won't be enough in this early game, and this is the problem, right? They don't really have any pressure in the side lanes to try and facilitate Vin, trying to just disrupt Wise's farming pattern. And being on a Fredrin, he can hold his own 1v1.
Yep, I mean the best part about Wise going for the Fredrin jungler is that he's unfazed about the damage coming up from Vin. And not only just that, because All My Venus is sticking around the mid lane, there's a lot of heal, but hold on a second, Albert's already spinning All My Venus! First blood! Going over to the RRQ Nation!
Hate it when we're right, but this is what RRQ exactly needs to do. Small lead in a minute and a half, about 500 gold, but that's what you do with a lineup like this.
We thought that the target was going to be HOSHI. It is All My Venus. Bursted even through the ages. That is unreal. Early game damage coming in from RRQ. It's not even level 4.
Yep, something to note, we didn't see this in the prep or the draft going into this. A battle spell we rarely see in game, at least in the professional scene. Yes, indeed, folks, that is All My Venus on the Aegis. Oh, something down bottom here.
I feel like it's just about Aegis, making sure that if All My Venus is able to survive even longer to sustain against the burst damage coming up from Albert, so that he could just spread out the heals. But something very interesting is All My Venus is one that lost his life first. HOSHI only gets hit level 4 at the same time. A lot of pressure coming in, Albert coming to the spin, but he will not be able to find anything as well. And we'll pause the split for now. It's going to be possessing Vin for now. On the middle, but here comes the counter at the same time. HOSHI in the back line, running down the air shot, but will be able to push Vin out of their jungle.
Oh, that's a 1 for none, and that's RRQ with a man down. They're pushing Clay away as they start this first turtle.
Yes, Edward, oh no, he's actually putting a lot of pressure against Albert, but Albert's actually spinning around. Look at the, oh no, Edward just managed to push Albert away, giving Wise that turtle. That's absolutely fantastic.
RRQ is going to get something back. Edward is the main target here.
Edward!
To secure it. And it's still over. Both teams duking it out.
And they're duking it out. It is all going. Oh no, Albert, he got caught right inside the turret, inside the brush as well, but he's able to cable away. Blacklist International destabilized, but RRQ on the other hand, they're not taking prisoners.
Ooh, it's just a tough situation right here, and Albert is the one that needs to back off.
Feather airstrike.
Both trading, but Feather airstrike will not be able to make a big difference. And I think Wise actually stole the orange.
Yes, he did. Looking at the board here, Blacklist have gotten a small lead. Again, 3 minutes and a half. We're about a minute and 15 from that next turtle. Again, let's talk about the emblems here, because again, even the battle spells have gotten already pretty tricky. Arashi, talk us through.
I mean, look at all that movement speed being prioritized. Rotations, rotations, rotations. That is what both these teams like to use to get an advantage. And unfortunately for RRQ, early on in this game, I don't think the Faramis Cult Altar can give you that much value because you don't have the same amount of damage that you can dish back out. Whereas for Blacklist, having HOSHI on that Farsa just allows them to just destroy RRQ when they're clumping up in the jungle earlier. So they need to wait for a bit more power spikes to ensure that aside from having a second life, they have the damage to back it up as well.
Yeah, and already, it looks like RRQ are off tempo. It seems like Blacklist's response to this hyper-aggression in mid has found its match. Wise gets pulled very precariously because, again, bigger presence from RRQ here in the mid. But Turtle is spawning in the top side. Oheb pops a torn apart memory. Oh, I'm loving Blacklist positioning right now.
I love All My Venus positioning. In fact, being in the mid lane means that you could actually rotate all the way up top, all the way up mid, all the way bottom. In fact, even the jungle, this global map presence of All My Venus is there. Even with Albert's Fanny, wasn't able to match.
This is why it's just so difficult. RRQ, they want to go for pickoffs, they want to abuse Albert on that Fanny with that early game damage, but when BLACKLIST clump together, fight together as a team, they have the Fire Mist as a quote-unquote counter, but it's not working right now.
The better airstrike will be able to land on Albert as well. Albert will be able to cable all the way out back to safety, but that is a very low jungler. Albert needs to go back and reset. BLACKLIST, they have total control for now.
Oh, they go ahead and start it.
R7.
It's only R7 first to the scene.
R7, jumping and zapping around. Skylar coming in, but it's going to be R7 that takes down the sniper. And not only just that, Wise will be there to go down the damage to go over the turtle. Wise going there, still will be able to calm Finn. Finn will also fall in the hands of Wise for now, but R7 look and destroy. Super annoying, and HOSHI getting the machine will also fall. And Wise right now trying to delay, trying to actually put down some damage, but look at Skylar is actually pushing down the turret at the same time. Clean already here, but Edward possesses R7 right there. But what are you going to do? There's a Skylar right there, right ready for you to pop. Edward, I'm a little bit afraid of you. You have to run away, my boy. But Edward, turn it around. R7. Oh my God, so much time bought by Edward.
A long-form trade there by Agent Zero, buying time, buying map space for BLACKLIST International, keeping that fumble in, I guess, recoverable space, and they push down bottom. Arashi, how did BLACKLIST recover?
They were just able to actually buy so much time in that fight, and their members were able to come back from the fight despite being taken out earlier on due to the big combo from RRQ. This is what RRQ needs to be very careful about. They have a lot of damage, but they need to make sure that they do not allow BLACKLIST to have multiple rotations of their ultimates.
Finn is to catch. Oh my goodness, has to pop the ultimate for now. It's going to be, oh my goodness, again, she's going to be over. But here comes Albert for the assassination. He finds the queen! And we'll be able to zip and zap out of the way. RRQ on the roll right here in the KDA.
Arashi, that's Oh My Venus' third death. But wait, B-Wise, of course. If you take down B-Wise, is going to respond. Oh, they're looking for something.
He's trying to look for something. Skylar will be able to beat MI all the way out. Edward, I don't think there's any kills for now they can do. BLACKLIST, they managed to stabilize for now.
Arashi, talk to me.
It's so dangerous right now, man. RRQ, I think once they have a bit more items, they can start being a lot more menacing to Edward, to Oh My Venus, and Wise. This is what we've seen again and again. Very solid damage dealers from back far away, and 3 very solid tanky members in the front. This is what BLACKLIST is working with right now, and unless RRQ has the right items, for now, BLACKLIST still has the advantage. They can still bully RRQ away from the objectives.
Yep, but it's going to be Bin that engages all the way. First Faye coming in, but it's going to be Edward. Oh no, he stops Albert right now. It's going to be Retrovato, but it is won by Wise. And now, then there's going to be BLACKLIST going to try to do something. R7 all the way in the back line, looking at Edward. He's actually super tanky right now. The bench is doing pop. Wise going in, the better extra going in. R7 needs to run away, and he manages to run away from the artillery strikes.
Something tells me this is the ideal engage that BLACKLIST was looking for maybe 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Yes.
That's what they wanted to do in that other turtle up top, and now they're able to finally execute.
They're able to pick off a win in that jungle fight, and afterwards, you can see that everyone just jumps on the opportunity. RRQ, they are forced again and again to back away, but now that Skylar has the golden staff, it's going to be something that BLACKLIST needs to keep in mind, right? They are working against the clock right now.
And with this 1,000 gold lead, their stats against Indonesian teams in M4 are looking a little better, right? The small lead in the mid-game, 8 minutes in, 1,000 gold ahead. They're currently sitting at 0-6 against Indonesian teams. Their fate may change right here.
They have a chance to just turn it around, but look at this EXP lane. It's just constant battling, and keep in mind, R7 was able to be so tanky there due to that vengeance. This will be a lot more annoying the longer the game goes. Once he has the concentrated energy, the other sustain items, it's going to be near impossible for BLACKLIST to try and kill him without locking him down.
Yeah, locking down, I think from the side of BLACKLIST right now, they're able to stabilize. Oh no, he gets caught out. It's a whole gang, but colors are coming in just in time at the same time. Colors jumping all the way in. Let's go, Ulta will not be able to do more than enough for RRQ to slowly take down BLACKLIST. It's gonna be just Wise, it's gonna be just Edward, and now Skylar, he gets caught by BMI out. R7 on the chase right here. Wise looking a bit low, Edward definitely trying to kill, and then he will try to possess. Going in this Vincent, he got on top of R7. It's just a slow death for the joy!
Agent Zero gets his man. Down goes R7. Something tells me, as we get more into the late game, there will be a cap. There will be a limit for RRQ's aggression, and then more Blacklist can find their way into this game. 10 minutes in.
The longer the game goes, the more healing Oh My Venus will have, but also the more damage RRQ will have. So it's going to be a bit of a balance. It all comes down to execution. That blazing duet was just so devastating, and if Blacklist keep coming together, that's dangerous.
Albert coming in, would not be able to do the retro battle. Albert needs to tap out for now. It's going to be Blacklist going to be engaging on top of RRQ for now. It's going to be Vin, and first of all, the HOSHI, the heal coming in, managed to sustain for Blacklist to fight.
Down goes the M-Series all-timer who hit his 500th assist in the M-Series overall. Vin sitting at 0, 5, and 5. The Hilda's doing its work, right? Looking at its items, he has physical defense in the Antiquitas. He's building up towards magic defense. But I gotta say, against Blacklist International, you're really only building against OHEB for physical. What's going on here?
Well, they want to make sure that their main pickoff tool, right? The tournament memory cannot be used.
Strike! Albert gets deleted right off the map as he tries to get his purple buff, and that's not a good timing for RRQ.
Arashi, back to the point.
Back to the point, man. The tournament memory is the main tool they're using right now. Yes, the airstrike is going to be difficult to deal with, but R7 now trying to deal with the whole team of Blacklist alone.
Yeah, but not just that, it's going to get denied by the Oh My Venus actually here, but the Overmind Vengeance actually trying to next to shot. Hey, coming in with the call, making sure that the Joy stays alive just a little bit. Vin, he finds the back line, and he wipes out HOSHI at the same time. There'll be the trade for R7, but Oh My Venus, the damage starting to come for RRQ. Blacklist is trying to crack the bottom lane open.
Oh, they pull that way!
No.
And the split comes in right on time. The baby alien has to respond to the lane up top, and just like that, 11.5 minutes in, 5K gold lead, Blacklist International turning the map red.
It's such a chaotic game, but at the end of the day, Blacklist are the ones with the map pressure advantage. Now, once the Lords become even more important, they can use this to set up traps for RRQ, even though in the way, right, RRQ has a better vision game, considering that they have a very strong front line. Let's take a look by the at the instant replay by TikTok of that fight. Begun with R7 just going in alone, but afterwards Vin was able to locate HOSHI in the midst of all the chaos. Unfortunately though, it's all traded in for several turrets in the process.
Every single time, if it's Vin for HOSHI, that's worth it for RRQ HOSHI. But if R7 has to come along, that bundle package is way too much.
Yeah, the burst damage is something that Vin has to be careful about. Not a real manipulation, mind you. The fair the airstrike, you can see Vin has to tap out.
Yeah, and just looking at the items, Arashi, I just noticed, man, the 4K gold lead, you can see a lot of it on the junglers. You can see it on Albert, you can see it on Wise. There's almost, what, 1,500, 2,000 in between them.
Oh, here we go. The Joy Vengeance instantly deleted. That is a very scary jungle for RRQ to be in.
This is the traps we were talking about with that vision game. But look at the split push coming in from RRQ. They're trying to find value despite being on the back foot. And keep in mind, on the point of items, there is a Necklace of Durance already rushed to be built by Clay, but Blacklist, they seem to be just going for the base.
Better airstrike will be used to zone on RRQ right now. Albert's trying to make a play. He has to recall back the base for now. It's going to be Skylar. Oh no, he gets countered by Wise, and that would be a monster kill. Give it over to the Blacklist jungler. And Blacklist right now, they will ensure the fight. What can you do when you don't have a damage dealer? Wise will say, no more Clay.
1-for-1, Skylar for HOSHI, and just like that, Blacklist makes a beeline for the Lord. Arashi, can RRQ contest?
Without Skylar, it's going to be a very tough process. He is the main damage dealer for the BPM members. Unless they can pick off OHEB or HOSHI, it's going to be very difficult, but Albert seems to be trying to make an attempt.
Vin, just check in, and just like that, Blacklist, let's go. It looks like they want to make sure that it's a clean go. They want a full maybe 3v5, 2v5 if they can, but with the way RRQ HOSHI are finding HOSHI and threatening the kill on Oh My Venus, it's not so easy.
It's not really easy at all. Skylar could just BMI right in and all try the blazing duet, but then there's the menace, right? Oh My Venus, it's the thorn against RRQ side.
This is the difficult part as well. Blacklist, they are content just trading out damage because they have Oh My Venus on the Estes that can allow them to sustain through most of the damage. The same thing cannot be said for RRQ, who have to rely on a Cult Altar, right? A more decisive use of an ultimate to try and gain advantage. Vin can sustain with the shield and the healing coming in from the passive, but it's 1 compared to 5, and for Blacklist right now, they have all the map pressure in the world to work with as well, but right now, Albert is the one that's far away from this Lord. They might just wash it.
Different Astra going in at the same time. It's going to be the Lord that will be forgotten about the both of these two teams. The call already committed, but that's the damage coming off from Clay. And R7 will be able to find it back by Woody zoning everything away. Wise will be down, trying to actually do something, but he won't be able to do anything for now. R7 trying to zip his ass. The ultimate was already activated for now. But Albert, he coming for the assassination. And that's the jungler gone. The jungler advantage going to RRQ.
Oheb for Vin was a good trade, but now it's all going down.
No, that's not a very good sign. RRQ does have the retribution battle right now. Stop the Blacklist trying to make something happen. They need to try to land the retribution at the very, very right time. He has the retribution and he gets the Lord.
The baby alien scores it, and you hear the kingdom roar. RRQ running away. Edward and Oh My Venus trying to look at least for a trade on the map. Blacklist still with a small lead, but RRQ Hoshi scores a Luminous Lord.
They have caught up, and man, the building literally was shaking at that Lord take. That was way too close for comfort, and now Blacklist make a play for the purple. It does seem like Clay will be able to secure that buff, but now we have a bit of downtime, and let's talk a bit of the items yet again. Glowing ones have been purchased by the side of RRQ, knowing that there's just way too many big dudes on the side of Blacklist International. But on the other hand, look at HOSHI. That's a lot of burst damage, Divine Glaive as well, and with the truncheon, there's a potential for an outplay to happen here. RRQ need to be very careful in calculating how long the cooldown is on that item.
Oh, I think they have eyes on where Edward is. HOSHI pops a Feathered Air Strike, pushing away Vin. And this is what's so hard when you're Blacks International, right? You have to manage the waves because Albert's much, much faster than a majority of you. And then now you have to play honest. So far, Blacklist International have kept a small lead, but now RRQ Hoshi, they've done so well to recover. The map is blue.
I think it's the other way around. It's RRQ that's a little bit behind his goalie. They actually slowly claw all the way back, but it's going to be R7 getting a bit of damage for here. Wise in the thick of things. It's going to be Oh My Venus slowly healing up Wise. Blacklist International, they defended their throne for now.
This is the limitation of this team composition. Sure, it's a lot of damage. Sure, in a big fight, it has so much combo potential. But when you're up against a Farsa, there is no high ground, and there is no marksman to try and whittle down these turrets. So RRQ will be very, very reliant on winning fights with the Lord, and then using the Lord to crack open the base of Blacklist. Now, knowing this, Blacklist can very easily adjust and look for traps, opportunities, and loopholes to try and punish RRQ.
Wise playing with fire. R7 comes in.
R7, HOSHI has to fly away, but it's going to be R7. Activated out in his way. He's all the way in the backline. He's launching alone. Clay manages to touch go after just in time, but it's going to be Oh My Venus actually desperately healing. The fight is using the melee. Elvin fighting, but he gets taunted by Wise. Wise, unstoppable, unkillable. Scala has to step out. HOSHI manages to take down Elvin as well. Elvin is not going to allow her to run away. OM is there to slide down Clay.
The only problem is they left that wave up top. But again, a man down is a man down. Albert, 30 seconds away from spawning. Can he make it to this Lord fight? Are they going to start it immediately?
They can just go for it if they really want to try and deny Albert, but that's still a risky play against RRQ's composition right now. They seem to be going for that mid-base turret, but look at Clay looking for an opportunity. This might be disaster for them.
Oheb going in. Clay was actually going to activate the Shadow Stampede just a little bit, try to zone it away, but Blacklist just continues to love to have that mid lane, and now RRQ's base cracked open.
That's permanent damage in mid, something that RRQ constantly have to tend to, and that's what Blacklist is avoiding. That's why they sent Edward back home. That's why HOSHI's paying attention to top lane, and Lord is a clean 5v5.
I think RRQ just need to execute the fights cleaner here, because earlier there's a lot of burst damage, there's a lot of potential, but when you funnel in one by one like that, it allows Blacklist to deal with the threats individually. Whereas if you come at the same time, the Fanny, the Hilda, the Faramis, as well as the Claude, they have to actually ration out their crowd control, and maybe one of them will pull through and be the deciding factor for RRQ Hoshi.
Yeah,
so they have to be very careful.
Something tells me there has to be some specific way of cascading your skills for RRQ Hoshi to get it right. Now, Vin trying his luck. R7 coming in with an angle.
Vin actually wants to fight as well. The counter activate at the same time. HOSHI is ready to trying to provide some high ground, some protection for Blacklist International. They shove RRQ out of the team fight.
Just didn't work out. Now Edward on R7. Let's see the relentless one, not letting go. Team captain always pushing forward, leading with boots on the ground. This joy, 4-4 and 6. That is the KDA of a true warrior. R7 wants to force the issue, and look at that wave down bottom.
It's a huge wave, and R7 is pushing it out again, but Blacklist react almost instantly. R7 can flank right here. He does have the Divine Blade. That's a lot of damage available.
Vin will be the one that falls. It is going to be the Giant are going into backline. Oh my Venus! He's actually trying to kill, but will not be able to do so. I think it's one fall. There's no damage at all, but it's not Blacklist anymore. RRQ, they will try to force this fight. Oh my goodness! The Queen will fall, and now RRQ full control of the map.
That was the exact order that they were trying to pull through the past 5-6 minutes.
That's it.
And now RRQ are threatening an inhibitor push.
It's going to be an inhibitor push right now. It's going to be Vin that's absorbing all the time. It's going to be cracked open from the outside, but Edward goes the ball. It's waiting up for the RRQ. Blacklist, they need more time. But RRQ, they're not going to give any more time. This is game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be wise. Definitely trying to hold, but there's so many people beside RRQ for now. Blacklist, they need to do something. What is it? Going punches? Not a good idea. It's RRQ. Takes game number 1.
Oh my god.
The King of Kings draw first blood here in Tennis Indoor Sinayan.